Good morning, and welcome to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Relationship Tuesday, and we're here to open your mind. We are living the good life right here on WBOK 1230 AM, and I am so excited this morning. We have a great show for you. I hope you all enjoyed your 4-day weekend. I know I enjoyed mine. I know the boys enjoyed it because I had boys on top of boys on top of boys. I had 6 boys in my house this weekend. 6 boys. The football team.
Let it go.
I had my... See, y'all? The football team. I had 12-year-old.
The football team
was over at the house with Aiden.
Yes, because we I have to say it on air, we shut down McHugh on Saturday. Ugh, they were talking smack for a week.
Who?
McHugh. It doesn't even matter. Why should I say their name again?
McHugh? McHugh. They in the city? Yeah.
They are in the city. They were talking the park. They were talking smack all week. Cool. So for all of you listening out there, we won. Anyway.
Did you barbecue?
We did barbecue. We actually had a Harrell family cookout yesterday.
That's really cool.
It was. So the kids had like a whole weekend. And I bring this conversation up because today's, ooh, y'all are laughing. Yes, we shut it down. And if you want to watch us and see what goes on live in studio, follow us on the Good Life Radio Show, Eileen Carter on Facebook. We are on Facebook Live. And as well, if you'd like to join the Good Life Radio Show, make sure you give us a call at 504-400-7127, 504-400-7127. I am here with 2 of my favorite people. I have Isaac. I am so excited. What's up? Look,
yes. That's Facebook right
there. That's
Facebook
Live right
that's
there.
It.
That's what goes. That's how it goes down. And then, of course, we have Dr. Brian Turner, and we are going to drop the knowledge today. And the reason why I bring up the conversation... Wait, go ahead, Brian.
Let's give them their homework. And they got 30 minutes. Give them their homework so we can start. And then...
Well, I have to tell them why I was telling that story.
Okay, go ahead.
See y'all?
I'm anxious. I'm sorry.
I know. See, now I'm just going to drag it out even longer.
No.
Well, the reason why I had the conversation of the boys is because when you're a new season or before the season starts, what do you like to build with a team? How does a team become successful? A team becomes successful. See, you didn't know where I was going with this. See, you just thought it was a random story.
I trust you.
Thank you.
I trust you.
A team becomes successful when they trust each other.
Trust.
When they trust each other. And so I think that we've lost that personally in our relationships. Mm-hmm. And I think that has grown into our communities and our families. And when we have that lack of trust, we can't do much with each other. So I wanted 2 of my favorite people who are very, I had to reel Isaac in here this morning.
You know how I feel about this.
Exactly. Right. So I'm going to let you chill for a second. I'm going to let Dr. Turner go first.
On the door trying to get in.
Right. This has led to so many different conversations with regards to the Colin Kaepernick, with regard to the anthem, with regard to, just family relationships. So Dr. Turner, break it down for us. What are your thoughts?
Well.
And I know you have a test for us. So if you want to get that out there and let us marinate on it and, have the callers call in.
Here's what we're asking folks to do. Call us and let us know, or Facebook message us and tell us 5 people that you trust. 5 people that you trust.
So all y'all on Facebook, 5 people that you trust. Think about it.
Trust.
And listeners, obviously.
Trust. Oftentimes, trust is a psychological concept that is rooted in early life experiences with those caregivers who provide you the basic necessities in the world. So when you are born, the person who seemingly comes running when you're wet, when you're hungry, when you're tired, when you just don't know what to do, is where trust is most often built. Right. It's most often ingrained into who we are. And what we understand oftentimes is when you come into the world as a child, our most fearful thing is not to be cared for, not to have someone that we can trust to provide those needs, and then therefore teach us how to provide those basic needs to ourselves. So when we talk about trust, and where we're going today, I think under my trusting leadership, is that we're going to take and have this conversation about, one, who do you trust and why? And what do we do when we need to find people to trust? Because at some point in our lives, we're going to have to trust someone that they'll take care of us some point.
And it's hard sometimes, especially when you've been hurt in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And so many times we get stuck on those relationships that have, faltered.
Yeah.
And that's life. But we get stuck in that muck. So I know you had a very unique outlook on trust.
I'm just going to define trust real quick. You could look it up. I just looked it up just to let people know, give everybody kind of firm ground, a level playing field. But trust is a firm belief in the reliability, truth, ability, or strength of someone or something. A firm belief in the reliability, truth, ability, or strength of someone or something. And that's the noun. The verb is to believe in reliability, truth, ability, or strength of someone. So
I trust you, Isaac.
So I mean, but trust comes with belief. That's the root of trust, right? Right.
We're getting to it.
Your proof is in the pudding,
that's
David.
Right. That's
and
good.
If you didn't fail me before, trust starts to erode.
Right.
It becomes harder to trust you. If you said you was gonna take care of me,
right.
If you said we was gonna have food on the table, if you said you wasn't gonna let them big boys down the street beat me up, and I keep finding myself SOL,
right.
And it's because you leave me hanging, my trust in you becomes, very thin, and it's a lot harder to trust you. Actually, this morning it was a great opportunity in a conversation that this came up specifically around the failure for generational trust.
Ooh. We talking
right.
about New Orleans? Or what are we talking about? Everywhere?
Let's stay at home.
Let's
stay
right,
at
but
home.
we have.
But
you know what? Someone on Facebook is saying that as well. They said, it's a hard one. His dad said, "Trust nobody but your mama." Then you cut the deck.
But look, I'm gonna tell you right now. Let's take it to another level.
Thank you, Mr. Robertson.
The younger kids now they have come up to think about this mentality. Trust or love will get you killed.
Mm-hmm.
You can't trust nobody.
Exactly.
Trust no one.
Exactly.
Right.
But how do we build a community when we are pouring into our children to not trust anyone? How do you grow a community?
How you get to the good life without trust?
Exactly. How do you get to the good life without trust? And we touched on this a couple Mondays past, because how do you grow generational wealth? We have so many in our community who don't like to partner to grow a business because they don't trust one another.
Trust, right.
So we can't build wealth because we don't trust each other. We can't build anything.
I'm reflecting now on the conversation, and the point that was made was, did Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans cause an unnatural schism or dichotomy of that trust factor? Because oftentimes we trust that elder to take care of us, but did Katrina cause us to, in effect, our elders have to refocus on some very real life or death type stuff and not be able to continue? And I think the answer was both yes and no, because in a lot of ways, if you think about relational kind of paradigms and like the dynamics and the forces, Katrina really should have been an opportunity to fortify that trust.
Right.
So regardless of Katrina, I think the point that potential eyes was bringing up, or we talk in New Orleans anywhere, is that we've been in such a despair at times that we've become, and I remember this when I was at Southern playing football, we oftentimes talked about me, being our own fraternity.
Right.
That if it comes down to it, and we say it now, YOLO, you only live once.
Right.
We all solo dolo, I'm all by myself. And so we've kind of concocted this idealism of, I can't trust others because if I do, it will hurt me and I'll be SOL. So
and Carlos Porter on Facebook Live also says there's no trust. He said, but there's truly never been any trust. What do you think about that, Dr. Turner?
Well, thank you for taking us there, because once again, we play with it, and you think about the debate of the authenticity of a piece of literature in terms of the Willie Lynch letter.
Right.
Right. We can debate the authenticity. However, if we look at seemingly the proposed outcomes that Willie Lynch had on the banks of that river in Virginia, he really seemingly hit on something. Now, somebody did it, they indoctrinated us to hate each other.
But what's funny is that we get caught up on is the letter authentic. Who cares?
At this point,
The point of the letter exists today, and we're so worried about does the letter exist that we forget or are distracted, and that's how they get you. They distract you. We are distracted from the purpose and what was behind it, and that's the point of the distrust. We're so focused on one thing that they're getting us behind our back because we don't trust one another.
Yeah, you got to cause a little bit of confusion,
Right.
And then trust is right out the door. Right.
It's that meme that shows how in a lot of spaces you have the banker telling someone, "Oh, be worried about that person. He's trying to steal your cookie," while the banker is taking all of the cookies.
Right.
Or it's the, hey, you need to be worried about the person living next door to you that's on welfare. Actually, to the point, I won't say that because I can't verify the story, so I don't like to tell truths or half truths. But it's the idea that we become more concerned about the person living next door to us, who we think is trying to take something from us, when in reality that person has no idea what we're going through or desire to take from us.
Well, we have a question from Facebook Live again. He said, do we think that if a person loves you, they really trust you?
I'm glad that person brought that up. Who's that person? We get to shout them out.
Mr. Robertson. Shout out.
Shout out Mr. Robertson, because that gets down to kind of where the confusion sets in.
Right.
Because we just had to break down what trust is, and that's a belief, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's founded in belief. Now, is love founded in a belief? I believe love is founded in actual emotion, a mental, emotional. It has a physical.
And it's a choice,
right? A physical effect.
Well, I'll go half and half. I'll go half and half because a child who develops a trusting relationship with their parent trusts that when they drop them off at daycare, they're coming back to get them.
Right.
So there's an emotional connection that person I can put my trust in, that I can go to daycare, but they are coming to get me.
Right.
So they can, and if you think about attachment problems and thoughts, that child is able to go to daycare and not be concerned. But those children who are not comfortably trusting of their parent, they're the ones clinging to mommy and daddy's leg. Like, no, don't leave me. They're the ones crying and yelling. Yeah, right. No, I'm not ready. So it's almost the same ideal as that trust is based. And this is why what you're saying might be even more profound than we may have intended, but it's all emotional.
Okay.
It's all emotional.
Sean Gibbs say, I run no one because no one can help me. And then Miss Robertson says again, he said that because I love the world, but I don't trust the people in it.
Now, see right there? That is the crux of what we're dealing with on so many levels, in the family, in the community, in the business world.
Right.
Look, I got love for you, my brother. I got all kind of love. I want to see you do well. I want to see you do well.
Right.
You can live the good life.
Yeah.
You get it.
I'm not going to trust you.
But I don't trust you, my brother.
Yeah, I ain't bringing my money to you.
I ain't going to bring my money to you.
I ain't going to come to your restaurant.
Right. I'm not going to come to your restaurant.
Right. Exactly.
I ain't give me a kid a ride to school.
I'm not. Look, my kid cannot ride to school with you because I don't trust you.
Right.
And so that is the crux of the issue. And I think that is, trust. Who are we gonna go to callers at some point and figure out who they trust?
We want y'all to call in
504.
If you had give us a call at 504-260-9265, 504-260-9265. And for you all on Facebook, just tell us, and you don't have to give us their names if you don't want to.
Right.
You can give us your relationship to them.
Right. Because it is Relationship Tuesday.
Because it is Relationship Tuesday. It is
Thank
Relationship Tuesday.
You know what? I'm sorry because I kind of didn't.
Do they know who you are?
I didn't do it the right way. But I just want to acknowledge and I want to say thank you for letting me come on and kind of be a part of this segment,
Of
and
course.
thank you for what you do because people need to know that the good life is out there.
Yeah.
And
we're not just living it.
Right.
We're making it happen.
And it's
But I have y'all in here because I trust y'all.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
And
so
I
top
know
five.
Top five. Give me your top one.
Man,
let's not reveal the whole five.
Man, look, I'm gonna tell you my top one off there. My ride or die all day long because she taught me everything I know. Carol Turner, my mother, who just from a little boy, she ingrained in me and my brother's trust of her, no matter what, good or bad, thick or thin. I could go to my mama to this day. If I ain't doing hot, I could tell her, and she's going to help me. She's not going to put me down. She's not going to belittle me. She's going to love me. She's going to love me through the hurt. She's going to love me through the pain. She's going to make me better. So I can trust her with anything.
Okay. You'd be surprised how many
Who's yours?
black people, I'm going to say black people in the community don't trust their mom. You'd be surprised. You see that? I know. I mean, in your line of work, you probably that's what probably keeps you working.
But that's the irony, right?
Right. That's what keeps you working.
So going to the point of the emotional piece, that's the irony of how we have these fractured relationships, and so I have to, in essence, trust somebody that hurts me.
Right.
So it's a what do you call this? That cognitive dissonance of like that relationship, right?
Right.
You're my mother. I have to love you. I have to do these things for you, but you really hurt me. And that comes out in things like my mother may have allowed a traumatic incident to happen and didn't protect me. My mother may not have provided for me. My mother may have abandoned me. My mother may just not show me the love that I expect the mother to do. So then it turns into and I'll qualify that statement and say, I wish I would have had my father there to trust, but he made decisions not to. And there are other black men that I do trust a lot, but my mom is the one that I know I can go to, I can call at any time. So. Yeah.
We're going to get more into that conversation because as we are growing up and as we are being molded, when you do have mistrust as a young child, how does that develop throughout your life and how do you break that cycle? Stay tuned to The Good Life. We're going to be right back. This is a very interesting conversation because we're going to break this mistrust so we can grow our community. We can all live the good life. We'll be right back. Talk Thursday on the Good Life Radio Show is brought to you by the Downtown Development District. Over 40 years ago, the DDD was created to foster economic development in the heart of the Crescent City. Today, that vision is a real success, and downtown NOLA is thriving. Tune in Thursdays to the Good Life Radio Show at 11 a.m. to connect with the retailers, businesses, and the downtown experience to be a part of what's happening in your city you call home. Visit Downtown NOLA today. It's the Good Life.
Hi, I'm Henry Jolly, your relationship expert and nationally certified counselor. Everyone at some point in their life goes through struggles. I'm a firm believer that people have the ability to will themselves into good situations, but sometimes they may need some assistance. Being a loving husband, father, and successful businessman while having a passion for the counseling profession has allowed me to gain experience with a variety of these struggles. Let's work together to achieve your individual, family, or marital potential. Come and see me at the New Orleans Growth Center, located at 3712 MacArthur Boulevard on the West Bank in Suite 209. You can reach me at 504-259-8671 or by email, which is henry.jolly@yahoo.com. Thanks for your time, and I'm looking forward to working with you soon.
Are you satisfied with your current financial position? My name is Kenneth Barnes, President and CEO of KB Enterprises, where we specialize in putting together step-by-step financial action steps for your plan for today and for tomorrow. Whether you're 50 to 85 and need assistance with your final expenses, we have coverage options for every situation. Let us put life back into your finances. Call us today at 504-914-1202. That's 504-914-1202.
Carter Business Development delivers. For businesses to compete, they must have access. Let CBD be your bridge for business development services, radio advertising, social media marketing, brand ambassador, outreach, and access. Contact Carter Business Development at 504-400-7127 or email Eileen@tglradioshow.com. Carter Business Development creates unfolding opportunities. CBD connects the dots from where you are to where you want to be. Join the good life now with Carter Business Development, 504-400-7127, 504-400-7127. As quoted, a man who stops advertising to save money is like a man who stops a clock to save time. Let CBD save you time and give you access. Call 504-400-7127, 504-400-7127. Take the steps required for access so you can live the good life too with Carter Business Development. That's 504-400-7127. Small businesses play an important role in society, and L&R Security is no different. L&R Security delivers safety and comfort to our neighborhoods, events, apartment communities, conventions, work sites, festivals, and your business. L&R Security can be reached at 504-943-3191 to ensure the safety of your employees, customers, family, friends, and you. L&R Security has made its mark in the security arena for over 37 years and will faithfully continue that tradition. Call today for your personalized consultation to ensure your security needs are met. L&R Security differentiates itself by creating partnerships with our clients and guards. We are now hiring armed and unarmed guard professionals, retired military, sheriffs, and PD to grow with us and impact our community. Be a part of the change with L&R Security. Call us now at 504-943-3191. 504-943-3191.
Listen to WBOK 1230 AM anywhere in the world. Live at www.wbok1230am.com. WBOK 1230 AM, talk radio in New Orleans.
And welcome back to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Relationship Tuesday, and we're here to open your mind. We are living the good life right here on WBOK 1230 AM, and we are back. I am very excited about this conversation because we are discussing trust. Who do you run to? Who do you trust? We're talking about, the family dynamics and, when sometimes, that person that you become distrustful as a parent or a guardian. In that situation, we grew up being distrustful and we, that pours out. And it grows. And we have one of my favorite people, and I know I'm going to get him live in the studio. We keep talking about it, but I'm really going to get him. We have Mr. Lloyd Dennis on the line. Mr. Dennis, good morning. Welcome to The Good Life. How are you?
I'm doing fine, and I'm really, really happy that you guys are doing what you're doing and having these conversations and really having people think about what's going on in their lives and how it's impacting themselves and others. But I just wanted to bring up one other thing, and that thing is that how much does the fact that we live in a competitive economic system, and I'm about to fix that, to what extent does living in this economic system that's very competitive create this sense of I got to get mine and everybody else got to get theirs, and sometimes I have to get mine at the expense and on other people, and that how foreign that is to a cooperative model of where people understand a reciprocity and doing unto others is how you get yours. Right. Rather than getting yours from people at other people's expense, and how that plays out in our families when some people think they can just go off and do their own thing, and so I just wanted to throw that in there that we actually live in a culture that dives on this rugged individualism and competition as a model, and I just to throw some more stuff in the mix, but this conversation has really helped because I think a lot of people are walking around in fairly miserable lives because they don't trust and they don't know who to trust.
Absolutely. So who do you trust?
I trust a lot of people, but most of and Dr. Turner can probably chime in on this. I think that trust develops when you have a common goal with people and you work with people and they live up to expectations. Because y'all were talking about that just a few minutes ago in terms of family, is that when people live up to expectations, you begin to develop trust. Because I know and with the men that we work with, there's a level of trust that You know, I don't know about you, Brian, but there's like 100 people I trust that I didn't used to even know that well.
And sometimes they're not family to people you trust.
No, and sometimes, because inside families, sometimes there's some competitive dynamics.
Right.
That cause you to actually be in competition with people that you ought to be in cooperation with.
Wow.
So you know, I just wanted to throw that in the mix because we do live in a you know, I think there are other societies around the world where people have a more sense of reciprocity. In other words, it's in my best interest to be good to you. It's
Absolutely.
in my best interest to help you do well, because then I have someone who is stronger and more able in my life who can do, who when I need will be there and will be able. In relationships, I deal with that all the time. It's like, why are you tearing down your partner?
Yes.
You should be building up your partner so that they can be stronger and have more at the times that you need.
Absolutely.
You know, instead of tearing people down, we need to build people up. So anyway.
Absolutely. You hit so many things for me. Thank you so much for your call.
I sit at the feet of the greats, so one day the greats will sit at my feet.
Yeah, right.
I just, man, look, I'm serious. Look, let me. This morning I got this with Mr. St. Julian, and he brought up an issue that has been wrought throughout African black psychology, and it's the principle of Ubuntu. And Ubuntu is the African principle of interdependence, interconnectedness.
Right.
And the fact remains that has been throughout Eastern and non-Western civilizations, the sense of we're all connected and I am, therefore we are.
Right.
That is why most communities are able to survive, is because even at your lowest, you are of value to this community and something that you do.
Right.
And I value you, and I give you that. So, man, that was this morning. I know you weren't there, and I don't know if you usually make those, but that was this morning. He dropped that on us before we left. He talked about sharing, which is the principle of Ubuntu, is that we have to take care of one another. And it's not the social network. It's not welfare. It is a true humanistic approach to ensuring the well-being of my brothers and sisters in all that I do. So I don't mess over you. I don't forget you. I don't mistreat you. At the very least, I just know that there's limits of our relationship.
Right, and I think it's changing the perception that like I tell people, you know, I live across the street from a park, and when some people come to my house and they see all these brothers running around in the park, and sometimes they get loud, having fun, right? They see a problem, but I see an opportunity.
Oh, yes.
You know, and that's something that we have to get over. Is when we see one another, too often we see a problem, and we have to start looking at that situation and saying that's an opportunity.
Preach.
Well, don't do me that.
Go ahead on.
But,
I'm snapping for you over here. But
you know, that's all relationships are based on trust, though.
Yeah.
You hit something really big for me that, you know, I hope we can start with our immediate family. If every listener goes home and starts with their immediate family, and then let this be a ripple effect outwardly, how we could change our community today, starting with your spouse. Your spouse is not in competition with you. You're supposed to be, you know, growing together. You're supposed to be making a come up together. But there are, just like you said, so many of us that compete with each other. I don't think any of us are immune to this. I think at some point in our lives we all have that, but we need to correct that thought process.
I think sometimes what we have to do, though, is sit down and say, okay, so what is our agreement? What is our agreement with one another, so that there's some expectation? Expectation is a lot. And if we can agree on an expectation, then we can observe one another and over a period of time develop trust. But if there's no agreement, then people are like basing the concept of expectation out of air.
See, Brother Lloyd Dennis worked hard all those years to ensure brothers like Isaac and I and sisters like Eileen went to school and got degrees so I could learn this big word. It's called the superordinate goal.
Oh, okay. Write that down for me, Doc, so I can use that.
I got you. I'll text it to you. The superordinate goal, the concept is that it's like a football team. No matter how much I like or dislike you, I play tight end, you play quarterback, you play running back.
Right.
But our goal is what? To win.
To win.
To beat the other team. But I have to trust that the quarterback is going to make the right call, throw the right ball, hand it off the right time. I have to trust that the O-line will block, the receivers will catch, the coaches will know what defense we need to be in. So all too often, you're right. You just said it. We have to know what the game plan is.
Right.
And then we got to know what is my role in that game plan, because I might want to play quarterback, but if nobody sits me down and tell me, look, your skill set is not at quarterback.
Right.
But let me show you where you can go all pro.
Right.
Let me
and
show
what
you.
we need.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me show you where you can be an all. Oh, man, I don't even want to say all American right now.
But come on now.
But even
gonna
if
talk
that's
about
where
that
you got to
next
be all
segment.
American, right? But yeah, Dr. Dennis, you just hit it. It's that subordinate goal. What is the goal that we are both all in agreement that we're working towards at this time? And if that changes, who's the leadership? How do we change it? How would we modify it?
Oh, I'm about to drop a question on all of you, and I'm glad I have Dr. Turner, Isaac, and Mr. Dennis.
The love doctor.
The love doctor. Yeah, the love doctor online. Do you feel, and I've heard this, and I really want to pose this question to you all and the audience. Do you feel that since Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. passed, that we don't have that game plan, that he, on some level, gave us one, and then we kind of lost it after that?
Well, you just hit on something that's near and dear to me. So I got this organization. I think when you don't develop people to come up behind you and hand that off, that's a problem.
I think, but that goes back to what Brother Dennis brought up when he first got on the phone. He said something really impactful, and he was talking about the competition. And when you see yourself in a society or in a cultural situation where competition is what everything is based on, it is tough to kind of groom someone else, because eventually they're gonna come take your job.
Right.
You understand?
But you're not gonna be here one day. So.
But it's tough for people to handle. When you
my value is tied up in the time.
When you compete so hard for so long to get to such a position, right? It is very hard to hand that off.
But guess what?
And trust. Here's the word.
There you go.
And trust that the person that you've groomed or that's coming up behind you will carry on the tradition or at least meet the expectation. No, we're gonna talk about, because the words this man on the line just said, expectation. He said three things that just was like, that's fire to me. First, expectation. 2, levels. There's trust on many levels. Okay, and we talking about the basic level of trust and who you trust, right? But then 3, and I want to ask you this, Brother Dennis, myself, because this might be a radical idea, but hey, that's what we hear.
That's what the good life is about.
But Brother Dennis, do you believe that capitalism is a recipe for distrust? Is he still there? Did we lose Brother Dennis?
Nah, he on.
Oh, nope.
Oh, I think we lost him. It's okay. But
Call back.
hopefully he'll call back. But
can I play with it?
You can. No, we ain't playing.
I'm gonna play with it because that's a hot potato.
Right.
So what I think brings us to that point in terms of the sheer importance of that trust factor is the very nature by which we are told, conditioned, and indoctrinated to be in competition.
Right.
So even when you think about it, and I was going to say my example would be Jesse Jackson and President Barack Obama. You had a very real example of someone who dedicated his entirety of his life and career to the uplift of black people, and when in essence his goal, superordinate goal of the civil rights movement, black equality movement could be met, he became declaratively, demonstratively anti-President Obama. And we all heard it and saw it.
Right.
And you would think, what within him left him so scarred and pained that instead of reverencing a potential moment at that point in time to take such a shot? And I think the point of capitalism being that some people believe capitalism to be a governmental system when it is simply an economic system.
Right.
But the point being that that's what I think we've been blinded by. So as Brother Dennis would say, in most settings that we're in, the silverbacks don't do what we do for money, because I give up that time during that time period with no expectation of anything financial. It is purely one of the most altruistic things I've ever tried to do. I don't know if I'm always successful, but I try to give that time and that energy and that effort in hopes that the next generation. So Isaac, you're hitting at something that I've studied, and I've never done anything public about it, but I do a lot of reading around leadership. And the number one thing that makes leadership successful is a succession plan.
Yes.
Which is a successful plan to pass on leadership and the success of the organization. All too often in African American black communities, we believe in successions after the person is dead. How do we cut everything up?
And then we gotta find some lawyer we wanna
right.
We wanna
now
trust.
I'm fighting with my brother over a house that we grew up in. When we should just say, look, bro, let's just sell the house, split it, or
whoever the head of that household was
should have said so.
Should have had some expectations set.
Right? But that's the succession plan.
Wait,
we don't have that.
Right.
The head of the house.
The head of the house have expectations set, so we could.
So there's no arguing.
Right.
But
and there's no competition.
But how many times do we wind up fighting over property, material, capitalistic goals?
Right.
And then when it fails, it goes out the window. Now, nobody in the family has a house.
Right.
Now, nobody in the family has the means. Now, nobody can retain any of our history because one person wanted to fight over it, and now no one has anything.
Right.
Absolutely, absolutely. Robert Charles says, Psalms 145, do not put your trust in man. And y'all ask me.
I was going to say, who's my on my top 5?
Y'all want to know my number one?
Yeah, you know who
my number one isn't in the flesh. My number one is my Lord. That's my number one. I don't know who your number one is, but that's my number one. We're going to take a quick break, and we are going to keep this discussion going because it's a very vital one, and hopefully it sits in your spirit. It's something you go home with, and we start to trust and build that, or we start to build trust and loyalty so we can all live the good life. We'll be right back.
Small businesses play an important role in society, and L&R Security is no different. L&R Security delivers safety and comfort to our neighborhoods, events, apartment communities, conventions, work sites, festivals, and your business. L&R Security can be reached at 504-943-3191 to ensure the safety of your employees, customers, family, friends, and you. L&R Security has made its mark in the security arena for over 37 years and will faithfully continue that tradition. Call today for your personalized consultation to ensure your security needs are met. L&R Security differentiates itself by creating partnerships with our clients and guards. We are now hiring armed and unarmed guard professionals, retired military, sheriffs, and PD to grow with us and impact our community. Be a part of the change with L&R Security. Call us now at 504-943-3191. 504-943-3191.
Are you satisfied with your current financial position? My name is Kenneth Barnes, President and CEO of KB Enterprises, where we specialize in putting together step-by-step financial action steps for your plan for today and for tomorrow. Whether you're 50 to 85 and need assistance with your final expenses, we have coverage options for every situation. Let us put life back into your finances. Call us today at 504-914-1202. That's 504-914-1202.
Are you looking for a better way to get fit? Bored with the same old routines? Looking for results or a way to instill discipline in the kids? Tiger Rock Martial Arts is the answer with Taekwondo, kickboxing, and self-defense classes. Tiger Rock diversifies your training in ways that allows individuals of all ages and fitness levels to feel like a champion. Join Tiger Rock today. TigerRockNola.com or 504-455-9694. That's 504-455-9694 with a 3-class starter pack starting for only $38, which includes your training uniform. Learn, grow, and succeed with Tiger Rock's 3 convenient locations: Old Metairie, West Bank, and Clearview. There's no better time to start gaining strength, skills, and protection for life than now. 504-455-9694. 504-455-9694. See you on the mat.
Gumbo Talk Thursday on the Good Life Radio Show is brought to you by the Downtown Development District. Over 40 years ago, the DDD was created to foster economic development in the heart of the Crescent City. Today, that vision is a real success, and downtown NOLA is thriving. Tune in Thursdays to the Good Life Radio Show at 11 a.m. to connect with the retailers, businesses, and the downtown experience, to be a part of what's happening in your city you call home. Visit Downtown NOLA today. It's the Good Life.
Hi, I'm Henry Jolly, your relationship expert and nationally certified counselor. Everyone at some point in their life goes through struggles. I'm a firm believer that people have the ability to will themselves into good situations, but sometimes they may need some assistance. Being a loving husband, father, and successful businessman while having a passion for the counseling profession has allowed me to gain experience with a variety of these struggles. Let's work together to achieve your individual, family, or marital potential. Come and see me at the New Orleans Growth Center, located at 3712 MacArthur Boulevard on the West Bank in Suite 209. You can reach me at 504-259-8671 or by email, which is henry.jolly@yahoo.com. Thanks for your time, and I'm looking forward to working with you soon.
WBOK, real talk for real times. Good night, hey. Good night, yeah. Good night, hey. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are back on Relationship Tuesday, and we're here to open your mind. We are living the good life right here on WBOK 1230 AM. Make sure you always turn your dials to AM in the AM. We are here weekdays from 11 to 12. We open your mind to living differently in the world. And if you would like to be part of the good life, make sure you give us a call at 504-400-7127. 504-400-7127, because that is the good life. I know y'all want to get your businesses on air. I have so many people who send me messages on Facebook and all the social media platforms. How do I get my business on air? Call me. 504-400-7127.
You gotta call that in.
You gotta call me.
You know who else I trust?
You gotta trust me that I'm gonna help you grow your business. I like that. Call me.
You know who else I trust?
Who do you trust?
Lee.
I do trust Lee. I you know what? I didn't even think about it. I absolutely trust Lee with my entire radio show. He's laughing. But for all of you who aren't watching us on Facebook Live, we had a very wonderful conversation that I want to, bring on air, because I asked the question as to who's creating the game plan. We're kind of talking about this in football terminology. I said, who's creating the game plan, so that we can all move forward. And, I said, where I get my information from is God. And God uses us, right? So if he's using us and they have people who are stepping up to the plate and you see that they're anointing on them, why aren't we in more of support of them? And we had this conversation before we went on air with regards to Colin Kaepernick, because they have so many people. I mean, it's down to the conversation of he's not black. I'm like, really? Well, then that means President Obama isn't black because he's half white, half black. I mean, like, just get over it. I mean, it's 1/16, a drop, a penny, whatever it is. I mean, let's get over there. 1/32. Let's get over that conversation. But when someone does move forward, and we were talking about, and you were like, the game plan comes from me, and I was like, it's delivered for me, delivered through. Right. And so, and I don't think it's necessarily always one person. It can be somebody who takes a lead, but we're talking football terminology. Like, you have the GM, you have the head coach, you have the offensive coordinator, you have the defense coordinator.
Sounds like a team effort to me.
It's a team effort, but they have to trust each other to make sure that they go in every Sunday for the win. So as a community, who is creating the game plan? And when someone does step up to create a part of the game plan, why aren't we in support of them? Because personally, by this by this Sunday, or these games starting on Thursday, whatever it may be, I think half of the stadium should be kneeling. We should be supporting him in that manner everywhere that we go. We want to talk about a protest and how is something really going to make a change. I was reading an article that there were 3 fifth graders in a school in Texas that took a knee during the national anthem in front of 5, and they said that they do a morning assembly with the entire school. 5 fifth graders decided to take a knee. What did that say? 5 fifth graders. And if these 5th graders can take a stand, we as adults should be able to do it for our children.
Right.
If you are in the Superdome, take a knee. I don't care where you are. Take a knee.
There's a gentleman
if you believe in it. I'm not. If you don't, that's your business.
stand,
But if you don't, stand. But if you believe in it and you want to, and maybe doing things in the streets wasn't working. Well, this is something that has created national attention, and if we support this man, we can create change.
I don't know.
Look at the change. It's already going to be in Madden 17. His protest is now in Madden 17, and all he didn't even he just took a knee.
When the thing comes on,
he's going to be in Madden 17 taking a knee,
sitting down.
Yes.
Wow.
I don't
but
know
that's my point. So this
read,
is going to be.
I don't know if people have read the words, but I think there's a song that actually speaks clearly and gleefully to the actual promise that America's supposed to provide. And it's a little ditty by a guy named James Weldon Johnson. It says, "If we lift every voice and sing, to earth and heaven ring, and ring with the harmonies of liberty," which that's what Kaepernick is practicing, right? And let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies, and let it resound loud as rolling sea. Sing a song full of the fate that the dark past has taught us, which I think is very relevant, but also sing a song of the hope that the present has brought us. So to our, quarterback who says he disagrees, I think Kaepernick is saying, hey, we got a lot that we've been through, but I'm happy to be here doing this, but I'm also happy that I can, display my right. And then just because they only do the first verse as well, I think this ending is befitting, facing the rising sun of our new day begun. It's like, come on, come on. If you white, black, if you gay, straight, whatever, come on and let's look at this new day of equality, of liberty, and let us march on till victory is won. So I think Lift Every Voice and Sing is a very apropos replacement, and it makes me have to think about when I'll next stand and what I'll be standing for. But I think to the point of where the strategy comes from, I don't know if we have to per se change the strategy that the likes of Crispus Attucks, Dr. King, Brother Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, our current thought leaders and thinkers, I don't think we have to change. I think the mission has always been to really make America be the nation that it professes itself to be. And that's through Dr. King's prophetic words of Black America was given a check marked in SF, and we have to go and find those funds because it's out there and it gets paid, but it ain't been getting paid to the black community. It ain't been getting paid to the white poor community. It ain't been getting paid but to the 1%. So if we really want to play this game, we ain't necessarily got to change it. But to the point of the teamwork, when are we okay with certain people playing quarterback?
Right.
Why is it that some coaches seemingly have a better ability to lead than others? And that caused, actually what made me think, and I'll stop after this, was really, and this is what I call myself to do, is for me to check myself about my critical ear or eye to other people when they're in leadership roles. Am I hating, or am I needing to step my game up? Because if I'm just hating and I'm a hater, that means I ain't doing what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
But if I'm handling my business and I look over and say, well, that person I can be critical of for real reasons that may lead us down the wrong path, I can say those things, be heard, and I can move on. But if you're just hating the hate, then that probably means you ain't doing what you're supposed to do.
I'm going to go back to Brother Dennis. And one thing he said when he was talking about trust was you got to have that common goal. That is where trust comes in, right? And so I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to talk about this common goal here, right? Common goal. Just stick with me. Just might take a minute, but let's stick with me for a second.
We only have 6 minutes.
But the common goal, I'm sorry.
I'll just play.
And then you were talking about the game analogy, right? And we just came to the realization that, it's a team thing, right?
Right.
Check this out. Who says we have to play that game? Let's
Not
think
I.
about that for a second.
Not I.
So that is what we really have to think about, right? Whose game are we playing and why,
Right.
right? And then once we come to, that's when we get to a common goal. You get it?
I'm with you.
So if we playing our game, whoo,
Woo.
to the right route, to the rules that have been set before,
Woo. Woo.
right?
Yeah.
There's a goal we could get to, and we could trust each other to get to that place.
We have to trust each other.
That's the crux of it right there. And we also have to really trust in the expectations we set for ourselves and each other.
And if you're a hater, just kind of step aside.
Well, you know,
That's where I am.
half times if you're a hater, you're an average hater anyway. You ain't even hating the right way.
Right. On the right thing.
Yeah,
People.
I'm giving that to the audience right there. If you see an average hater, just let them know they're an average hater. You know,
Yeah.
Can you step your head up?
right. But that's my 2 cents on that. But I'm gonna get to my top 5 real quick. I think I got them in my head.
What's your top 5?
Definitely my creator, God.
Off top.
Off the T.O. Pizzle, right? My wife, trust that lady. My mom,
Mm-hmm.
I have a mentor that I trust highly, and a guy called my brother my best friend. Those are, when it comes down to, and I trust my kids. Think about that for a second.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not trusting your kids, who is trusting your kids, and why?
Right.
What's a good reason
Yeah.
for them to trust your kids?
Yeah.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's some teachers in the past that I really, I could say I trust. People I work with, but when I come to my top 5, that's my top 5 right there.
Right.
But think about that for a second,
Let me get my last.
Yeah, get
3,
your
4,
last
and
4.
Then we're gonna get Sister Carter.
I need to know who
Yeah.
she
I don't want to say.
Mom's is off top. I give God an automatic, so I try not to include him in our humanistic kind of our little human endeavors, but definitely God. I didn't say that,
Right.
but I'm gonna give
I
deference
already
to the
knew you were a man of
revelation.
faith, so I already.
So yeah, I can't even
already knew
deny
that.
that. So my mom, my pastor, who's become a very close, confidant, ally. My uncle, who through his success and his guidance has helped me, and I got a couple partners that as I said, previously, I can trust that if we need to put on some suits and go get it, we can do that, and if we gotta put on some masks, they with me.
Just
I'm
keep the
with them.
suits
So,
on.
yeah, we try to wear suits, but that's how much I trust them. That if I ever have to say, look, bro, we need to put on some masks,
Oh my
they
God.
not gonna ask questions. They gonna come running. So
Right.
so and with that, I think there's a whole bunch of other people that I can rock with. That was 5, huh?
That was 5.
That was 5.
Yeah. So I think that's it. But I think there's some other people who are always, were able to be trusted.
Okay, my top 5.
Top 5. Top
I
5.
did
top
include
5.
God. He's my number 1. All day, every day. 2, my parents, and I will just make them 1 because they are 1. So mom, dad,
Yeah.
trust mom, dad. I had to.
I'm glad you said that too, because I was thinking about my dad. And I trust him.
I just kind of make them 1. Like, they are 1. They were always a united front. So they are 1.
He wild though, my dad. He
So
cutting up.
Ken and Gwen Carter, shout out
I
to
can
you
trust
all. I trust them with everything. My child, like you said, I absolutely trust Aiden. I know he has my back. He is my shadow. He will defend me till the cows come run home. He will defend me, my man. I absolutely trust him. And like, we've had the conversation on there, and I know he's not listening right now, but I absolutely trust him. And I will say, and my cousin, Pat, I hope she's listening. She has been there with me through thick and thin through this entirety of the radio, and my parents don't live, aren't in New Orleans all the time. And she, oh my gosh, she's like another mother. So that's my top 5. Love you, Pat. Shout out. So those are my 5. Yeah, and I think if it comes down to family, and it's not always blood that's your family. And I really want to make that, that point. But you do have to take that leap of faith. You do need to open your mind, and I want you to really think about if it's something that, are you distrustful because something that happened in your past and you need to go through a certain level of healing? Because if you do, then, open yourself up to that process, because really the bitterness and the unforgiveness is just eating you away. It's not just eating you away, it's eating at our entire community. So if we can all start there and start releasing some of that unforgiveness and that bitterness that we've held in our hearts for too long, then we can, as a community, grow, and we will grow with our relationships, we will grow financially, and we will grow, I think you'll see it, in civilly in social activities. So let's live the good life. Let's open people's minds to living differently in the world, and you can start by yourself. Let's do it today. That's what the good life's all about. And we're out.